From SwissWatchExpo. Spotlight on the different kinds of Rolex sport bezels, aluminum versus steel versus ceramic. When opting for a Rolex, whether vintage or contemporary, one is spoiled for choice when it comes to metal choices, dial designs, sizes, and more. For Rolex sport watches, we're given 3 distinct bezel options: aluminum, steel, and ceramic. Rolex has gradually made the switch to ceramic over the decades, but aluminum and steel bezels are still very much valued by Rolex fans. In this video, we discuss the history of these Rolex bezel materials and their pros and cons. Subscribe to our channel to get updates on new videos. Rolex began to use aluminum bezel inserts in the 1950s. It replaced the previous material known as bakelite, which is an acrylic with radium numerals embedded inside. Aluminum bezels were less likely to crack than bakelite. Moreover, the metal offered a great balance of traits. It was tough enough for daily wear, but could be fashioned easily, and also accepted color codings readily. While they did serve Rolex long and well, they do have a few flaws. First and foremost, aluminum bezels fade, scratch, and discolor, particularly when exposed to external factors such as sunlight and friction. This is actually a trait that is cherished by many vintage watch collectors, but it goes against Rolex's ethos of creating everlasting timepieces. Despite their tendency to fade, one advantage of aluminum bezels is that they are relatively easy and inexpensive to replace. In 2005, Rolex released their first ceramic bezel, made from a patented material they called Cerachrom. Cera for ceramic and chrome for the Greek word color. Cerachrom was an improvement from aluminum in every way. The material is virtually scratch-proof due to its extreme hardness and particularly impervious to fading caused by UV rays, chemicals, and sweat. Moreover, it can be polished to a long-lasting luster. The result is optimum color and shine that will last for decades. One disadvantage of Cerachrom is that it's significantly more expensive to produce, thus driving the cost of watches up. Being a brittle material, it can also shatter when dropped from a considerable height, or chip when knocked against a hard surface, and can be quite expensive to replace when it does. Cerachrom made its debut on the 2005 Rolex GMT Master II reference 116718, an 18-karat yellow gold model with a black bezel. Today, the Cerachrom bezel can be found on several Rolex collections including other GMT Master models, Submariners, Sea Dwellers, Daytonas, and Yachtmasters, in both singular and bicolor options. While current Rolex GMT Master, Sea Dweller, and Submariner models now come exclusively with Cerachrom bezels, some collections are still outfitted with steel bezels. For example, the Rolex Explorer 1 and 2 and the Air King. The Rolex Daytona was also available with a stainless steel bezel until 2018, when it was switched out for the Cerachrom bezel. Stainless steel is very robust and won't shatter like ceramic. However, it can be susceptible to scratching. Again, scratches and dings are still seen as quite desirable by some fans, as it suggests a life well lived for their Rolex. Another advantage of steel bezels is that it offers a streamlined look, particularly for all steel watches. While Rolex is gradually moving towards the use of ceramic bezels for their sport watches, aluminum, and steel bezels are still very much sought after by fans of the brand. It all boils down to preference. Choose the one that is easiest to maintain and appeals the most to you. Want to learn more about Rolex watches? Click on the upper right screen for our Rolex Watches playlist. Don't miss out. We launch 2 videos weekly on the best and the latest in watches. To get updates, subscribe to our YouTube channel.